coup was ousted by coup leaders promising to restore security. Since then, the country's new military leaders have had a series of disagreements with former colonial power France, which saw them reneging on an agreement to hold democratic elections this year and expelling the French ambassador when he objected. It culminated in Mali ordering France to withdraw all of its troops after almost 10 years fighting the jihadist threat. Bolstered by soldiers from other Western nations, the Mali joint mission, called the Takuba Task Force, will now move a short distance across the border to Niger, remaining relatively close their current base. Nigeria's president said on Friday that the country's borders would likely be more vulnerable to jihadist militant activity following the withdrawal of French forces and their allies from Mali. This is what Mali is dealing with. And the question then becomes, was it safe for the Malian people to ask the French troops to leave? But then again, after 10 years of wanting to assist the Malian people deal with these jihadist groups in the region, they have been able to succeed. They haven't been able to succeed, which is why it appears that the decision has been made for them to leave. Haja, respectfully, let me start with you on this subject matter of Mali.
Kwame, good morning, and good morning to
Good morning. Good morning.
And then good morning to our cherished viewers out there. Kwame, if you permit me, I want to take a second to greet the people of Bolgatanga. We lost our Imam, Sheikh Tahir. We lost him on Saturday, late Saturday, so we buried him on Sunday. And today, as I'm speaking with you, we are going to do the third day Adua.
Okay.
And
so you are going back to Bolga?
They will announce the day that we are going to have the Adua. You know, this is the third day.
Okay.
All of us have to prepare well and then go and be part of the final funeral rites.
Okay.
I want to take this opportunity to, should I say, thank the good people of Ghana, the imams of the regions, the Tijaniya sect, led by their Khalifa, who came to support the Bolga people to bury our revered Imam, Malan Tahir. May his soul rest in peace.
Okay.
Mali. You see, Kwame, we always sit here and talk about the way Africans, we are handling our issues. We allow ourselves to be used and people will be enriching themselves through our, should I say, excuse my language, foolishness. We are all one people. We are Africans. Why can't we mind our own business? Now, is it not Mali that they were in the process of having an election and then they changed the date?
Yes.
Okay. Now, those who took over, still, it is difficult to sort of man the region. Now, what are they using to kill each other? Is it not the ammunitions? Are the ammunitions manufactured in Mali? No. So if Africans, all of us, will think outside the box and realize that nobody can come from anywhere and help us solve our problems, but we have to find a way of solving our own problem, then we'll continue to mark time, we'll continue to kill ourselves, we'll continue to see each other as enemies, but not brothers and sisters. Why am I saying this? The French troop left. They were there for 10 good years, as you rightly indicated. What were they able to do to stop the insurgency of the jihadis, the Islamics, or whatever they call themselves? They couldn't achieve anything. Whilst they were fighting, pretending to be giving Mali the security, they were siphoning certain things from Mali, and people don't. Is it the uranium that they have in Mali and so on and so forth? So for me, I don't even like discussing who was killed or Africa. What is wrong with us? After so many years of independence, Kwame Nkrumah said it. If we don't get this political, if we have your political independence, you don't have economic independence. Now, indirectly, we are being ruled, all of us, including Ghana, all of us. We are being ruled indirectly. That's neo-colonialism. That is what Nkrumah spoke about so many years ago. And people like Ofobonye and other people didn't understand him. It took years of so many years when they were going to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Nkrumah to say some of them didn't understand Nkrumah. And look at where we are now as a country, as a sub-region, and as a continent. It's sad because reading stories like this in the morning, it kind of gives, even though we are not going on TikTok to express our frustrations. It's true. We would rather say it as it is. You understand? So for me, what is happening, I don't want to limit it to Mali. Is Niger okay? Is Guinea okay? Every day you hear of killing. This person has... People want to say that because the French troops moved out, that is why there's some casualties. When they were there, were there no casualties? Were there no casualties? So, for me, my condolences to the family of the soldiers who lost their life, because by all means they might be their breadwinners of the family, but I think it is hard time Africa says no to war, no to killing of each other, no to greed and selfishness. Because, did you see a video of a Nigerian governor who wanted going for primaries? Have you seen that video? You've seen it?
I've not seen it.
Yay! You've not seen it?
No, I've not seen it.
Have you seen it?
What happened?
I don't know whether he's going for African president.
The whole football field of
Tricycles, motorbikes, pickups, sewing machines, pumping machines. It's just like Accra Sports Stadium. The whole stadium was filled. Primary Sonkwan. Why are we behaving like election is about do and die? Then ordinary people will be thinking, why? What is there? Cry and everybody wants to be there. Because let me tell you, if I'm that man and I have that, I'll go into farming. Because look at this rice farming that is booming in Nigeria. Courtesy our own who went to give them the technical advice on rice cultivation. So for me, Kwame, it's a sad situation.
Right.
But it is incumbent on Africans to know that killing each other will not solve our problem.
Right.
You know, all these insurgents are the, should I say, the products of what happened in Libya. Most of them are armed. Most of them have all. So they go. You see, if they attach religion to it, I feel a bit uncomfortable. Because if you're a religious person, you don't go take gun and be killing your fellow brother. Because even you don't have the right to kill your own Muslim brother. Likewise, you don't have the right to kill your Christian.
They say they are jihadists.
My brother, what is jihadists? What do they want to achieve? Some of them, I can tell you, they cannot recite the first surah.
They say it's a holy war. It's either you are killed or be killed. You know?
See, this kind of nonsense
kill
fundamentalism of people not reading the Quran properly and interpreting it the way they want. You understand? It's giving because I watched a video, a Nigerian pastor who was preaching. I mean, a Nigerian, Muslim clergy who was preaching. There are some people who say, this Malam is like this, he's behaving this way, and he's telling us to do this. Don't look at the way the person is behaving. I'm telling you, Kwame, if you look at the way some of the Arab people behave, you will not become a Muslim. You understand my point? So therefore, you look at the content of the religion or the book you are reading to believe in your religion. And stop these jihadists, Boko Haram. Some of them were arrested. They couldn't even recite. So they are just giving the religion a bad name. And you know, it has to do with politics too. Most of the places that you see these people misbehaving, most of them are sponsored by politicians, by businessmen, by people who want to achieve what, I don't know, whether I've not seen anybody die and they bury him in the sky. Have you seen some before? So why are people so particular about money, money, money? Why? You know, Nigeria have arrested about 180-something companies, and then individuals who are into money laundering, who are into financing terrorism, terrorism, and this Boko Haram and what have you. They have arrested them. So that is why when is it the finance ministers of the sub-region met last week, and they were talking about how to curb this money laundering and terrorism in the sub-region, because they've traced most of the problem to come from people financing it. Nigeria have done it. They were able to do that. So I think, Kwame, as I told you, me, today, I'm a Muslim. If I die today, you, Kwame, you not see me. So what on earth do I want to acquire this, especially Africans? Instead of them to even use it to whatever they get, to create more jobs, employment for the teeming youth on the continent, they would rather go and stash the money somewhere. They will die and then you cannot even trace it. Sorry.
Anyway, brilliant perspectives here, Ajay, on that too, and I'm glad that you brought all of these perspectives into light. Let me remind viewers that we are streaming live on our Facebook page, which is Pan African Television. Make sure you share the feeds so others can get the opportunity to work. Here is where you get authentic, unbiased conversations, and we try as much as possible to deal with the issues dispassionately. You're still watching the newspaper segment here on Pan African Television with me, Kwame Owusu. So I will announce the person who gave me this shirt very soon, and I will also give you the investment opportunities that I've always been preaching on the show. But let me come to you, Gabriela Tete, on this subject matter, Mali.
Our viewers, good morning to your platform. Once again, it's been a long time.
It has been a long time. You found new lovers. Somebody that you were doing lovey with on Facebook. I saw it yesterday.
Really?
Yes, really. You have divorced me, you've gone for somebody else. But I'll deal with him. Very, very soon I'll deal with him.
Kwame.
I'll deal with him. As for Johnny Hughes, I'll deal with him. I will deal with Johnny Hughes.
But that one, I'll go there once every
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The way he commented on that your picture on Facebook. No. I will deal with Johnny Hughes. I will deal with Johnny Hughes. I'm a jealous man.
Be merciful.
I should be what?
Merciful.
No, I won't be. I'll make it my project, just as he's made MPP his project.
Be merciful like the French.
So they will leave and sponsor the Taliban.
It's a very interesting situation.
It is a very interesting spectacle.
And, because I haven't been here in a long time, I haven't had to deal with African stories. So I just had to go and do a quick research on exactly what's happening in Mali. And to be very honest, I think that the current state of coups that we are seeing in the sub-region actually has a genesis from an event that happened in Libya. And the ramifications are what, unfortunately, has triggered the rise in insurgency and in coups in the sub-region. Apparently, Muammar al-Gaddafi hired mercenaries, mostly from Mali, to support his regime. After he was murdered the way he was murdered, those mercenaries, obviously to flee from American invasion, returned back home. But because of the circumstances that surrounded Gaddafi's death, these mercenaries formed alliances with Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State, who are sworn enemies to the West. Now, these mercenaries come back into their countries with another agenda altogether. They will also want their own states. And these are guerrilla-trained, very radical people who have now also gone beyond just wanting to own states, have also now signed on with other mercenaries to also invade the sub-region. And now we have this issue in in Mali, which triggered into Burkina. Because if you know the history of the Burkina coup as well, it was because the Burkinabe government was refusing to supply ammunitions to the Burkinabe army to fight insurgents. And one weekend alone, they had killed over 23 of the Burkinabe soldiers, which caused which caused riots in the military camp. They went on demonstrations. They were spread shootings all over to tell the government that they need ammunition to protect Burkina, and they were not getting the supplies they needed, and that was why they threw out the Burkinabe government for their incompetence. In Mali, we've sat here and discussed how many times they're supposed to have a transition government, call for elections, and the elections don't come on because the military regime keeps suspending the elections. And that's because apparently in the communities where you want to hold these elections, many of them have been taken over by insurgent forces. So how are they even going to get ballot boxes into those communities to have them vote for a president and to truly say you have a democratic representation of the people in government? So it's a very delicate, very complicated issue that the sub-region finds itself. Now the challenge is that the current Malian junta is having challenges with the French military. And apparently, France has over 4,000 forces in West Africa. Mali alone has 2,000. Now, Mali, the French government, together with the Canadian government and the UN, are organizing a 6-month deployment out of Mali so that they don't create a vacuum and then the situation becomes more chaotic because the French are pulling out. But at the end of the day, like Hajia said, whatever challenges that we find ourselves in, we are Africans, and we must be the ones to address our problems, whether we can or we cannot. The onus depends on us to fight and protect the territories and the democracies of this sub-region. I'm surprised that with the kind of fluidity in Mali, Ecowas is not showing a much more aggressive posturing to deal with the issue of insurgencies. It's one security concern. It's one issue that I don't understand very well, because at the end of the day, if you want the Americans to come and fight insurgents for us, we've seen what happened in Afghanistan. After over $3 trillion in war expenses, look at the state of Afghanistan. Don't expect the West to come and fight a battle for you. It could cost us less. We don't have it, but it will cost us less as a continent or as a sub-region to deal with our own local issues and address these problems. What is triggering these mercenaries to want to own states in already independent states in the sub-region?
Yep.
Face that reality and confront it. If I get up and I say, I don't like how Akufo-Addo is governing, so I'm going to organize my own militia to throw out Akufo-Addo. Who does that? In this era and this time, you see, I may not agree with you in principle, but there's a time for everything. Sure. Confront those mercenaries. Confront the real problem before this situation aggravates. Currently, as we sit as Ghana, our own military and our own immigration are at the northern part of this nation, between us and Burkina. In fact, the Interior Minister's own house is sitting right at the border with Burkina, where the terrorists have even come close to.
His house is there.
His house is there. That's what I heard. I heard it's a green-colored house.
Hey.
So he. That's what I was told. No, it's a hotel. It's a hotel. He has a hotel somewhere there. It's a hotel. But the point I'm making is that it has come close to him. He has seen the reality. Okay, we in the south, we don't see anything. But those who are at the border, they see it. And these people, the mercenaries don't believe in democratic principles and all these freedoms and liberty sentences. It's money. End of the day, it's money. Black money, white money, oil money. And from what I hear, if you go deeper into these issues and you want to find out how much oil the black market in West Africa is supplying, it will amaze you. There's a whole undercover movement economy in this sub-region that is fueling this civil unrest. But we have a population of well over close to 400 million citizens in our sub-region. And it's in the interest of all these people that we learn to protect the sovereignties of these nations.
Absolutely.
France pulling out, well, it will have some consequences in the short term. What is Ecowas doing to protect Mali and to support Mali in this regard? You want them to hand over to a civilian government. The conditions under which they are operating makes it impossible for them to hand over to a democratically elected government. If the military juncture themselves are having challenges addressing this problem, then you civilian, what will you come and do? That is the thing. That is the thing. That is the solution that we have to start thinking about.
Coming down.
That is the solution we have to start thinking about.
They say that Ubiabo Yeshia.
No, we didn't sure.
Yes.
How do you say?
If your neighbor has a problem and you refuse to help your neighbor address the matter, very soon
it will come to
it
you.
will come to you. Yes.
It will come to you.
No, but it's not about Tofia at all. It's about pragmatic steps being taken to addressing these matters.
You see, I'm really surprised.
Look, Mali, Guinea, even on this platform, when you're discussing African matters, people think it's so far away.
It is here.
You know what I'm saying? People think that, discussing African stories is so far away, but you forget that all those conditions are right here. But we learn lessons from those conditions. Absolutely.
Then we shouldn't even sit here and discuss Ghana. We should discuss our home matter.
Yes.
Everybody should sit in his house and mind his own business, isn't it?
Yes.
You see?
So it's important that we learn with those of
Ecowas should show leadership. You know, Ecowas should show leadership. Maybe if they can get Ecomoc to intervene, because if they are coming, and then, all of us are against coups. But what is happening in Mali? How many, maybe if there are about 10 regions in Mali, about 7 has been taken over.
For me, the military don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice. Yeah. Because the civilian government is next to incompetent in addressing the problem.
Absolutely.
You made mention of Guinea. In this particular case, apparently, the Guinea coup is not related to these other coups. Guinea's agenda was a president who wants to give himself a third term.
No, yes, of course.
That was... So Guinea doesn't have that challenge yet.
No, what I'm saying is
but for Mali and Burkina, and now these same mercenaries, you read that the Mali government now has to move to the Mali military now has to move to the Niger border, because these mercenaries are in Niger as well.
They don't get tired.
How would they get tired?
So the Niger, Mali, and Burkina are critical states for Ecowas.
Yeah.
To look at how to help secure these nations.
Can't they just use drones to bomb them? Damn the consequences. Anyway, let me just go for this quick commercial break. On my return, we'll continue with the other conversations here on the show. Coming up, government will resort to petroleum sector for revenue mobilization if e-levy fails. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, I read somewhere that he said, if you make 1 Ghana cedi, we are 1 million Ghana cedis. We are only taking 12,000 cedis out of that money. 12,000. Mr. Minister, I know it's small money. Kenneth Apollo launches scathing tirade on Adjoa Safo. I guess the video is ready. That will be our video of the day. We're going to play that video for you. And UTAC fights court order. Daily Graphic. Let me go for this quick breather. On my return, we'll delve deeper into these matters here on the morning show. My name again is Kwame Owusu, so stay with us.
Trasaco Estates,
home to Accra's most beautiful and luxurious homes, presents its newest addition, Trasacco Springs, a premium master planned community of service plots surrounded by an exhaustive list of amenities. The gated community of Tema to Accra Motorway presents you the finest opportunity to own a land that suits your preferred size, budget, and payment terms. Trasacco Springs is open to you for development. Our on-site sales executives are ready. Call on 055 659 2658. Back from that quick commercial break. If you just joined us watching the news service here on Pan African Television with yours truly, Kwame Owusu-Danso, aka Nate Chibi, aka She. My outfit was produced and delivered by Kweku Outlook. Kweku Outlook is a fashion designer who is in Kumasi and produces the finest of African wares in Ghana. Just give me a call on 0241 218 266. 0241 218 266. Kweku Outlook. Just tell him Kwame Owusu-Danso gave you his number, so he should give you a discount, and he will give you a discount. All right. Government will resort to petroleum sector revenue mobilization if e-levy fails. I don't know why today there's no MPP person here. I don't know what they are running away from. Elena Madeko is not here. Saka Salia is not here. But I blame Gabriela for the absence of Elena Madeko. I blame Gabriela because
why?
Gabriela threatened her yesterday.
She threatened her?
Yes. There was a matter that was unfinished on another platform. They said, they'll come and continue the matter here. So I'm sure Ellen decided to back out. But women's organizer, don't do that too.
Maybe you check on some platform, maybe she's there.
Hey, yesterday I was happy. For the first time, MVP invited Pan African Television to their headquarters for a press conference. I was like, hey, what has changed?
Why they don't invite you?
They don't invite us.
But they're always here. Oh,
MVP. Oh, no. I don't know what's wrong with them. To the extent that I think the guy who's in charge of their communication said that as for Pan Africa, even if the party invites us, as for him, his heart in Pan Africa.
Did they give sorry?
Oh, they gave them 100 Ghana. They gave everybody 500. They gave Pan Africa 100 Ghana.
Oh, hey, that's discrimination.
Hadia, you've known me for all this. Have I ever lied to you before?
So who saw the 500 and who saw the?
Why? I don't know friends. The media guys are friends. Oh. They ask Charlie what you get. They gave people 500 Ghana. When Pan Africa went there. They saw.
But to be honest,
this is discrimination.
They saw John Vina. No,
but
actually, this is the first time.
No, it's like that.
No, actually, this is the first time we've actually given them Solio. Every time we actually been forced to go for their press conference. When they say, "Madam, how about you?" So yesterday, Omariwa there sent me the invitation and I forwarded it. I said, "Oh, for the first time at least, somebody is beginning to think." And then John Vinay went, I'm sure he was expecting a party. When they finished, they said, Pan Africa, 100 Ghana.
Interesting.
How far is NPP headquarters from here?
NPP is so funny.
What's the distance from NPP headquarters to Abelempi?
Salam down. If you take Uber, if you take boat and there's traffic, that 100 Ghana will be consumed.
that is only 3 gallons of food.
I'm telling you.
Let's get on with that.
No comments.
NPP. you know how there's somebody who says it so nicely. NPP. I think it's that Kufuor. We, the New Patriotic Party, MPP, will give Pan Africa 100 Ghana cedis.
Anyway, it's freedom in development.
I'm sorry, but Gavela, let me start with you. Government will resort to petroleum sector for revenue mobilization if A-levy fails. The bloggers out there, please, don't use this. If I realize
It's gone already.
it's gone viral, they say
It's already gone.
Can
So.
you see that? So alleged that MPP only give Panafrican television 100 Ghana
Oh, it's even there already. Let me check.
cedis.
Let me check. But it's a good headline, and it should be attributed to you. Is it not? You trend down till tomorrow morning.
I don't want to trend.
No,
today.
this one that you
The
trend.
last time I trended, I was scared for my life. In fact, one of my mentors came to me and said, Kwame, they will drag you to parliament to go and answer questions. So I said, no, I won't talk again. But eventually came out that they gave them $50,000 to pass E-levy. Well, I went to say 500,000. Then later they corrected me. They said it was $50,000. I got feel out. Gabi, E-levy.
Kwame,
Yes,
government just doesn't want to read the science and forget E-levy and move on. I watched snippets of the town hall meeting yesterday when finance minister said that if they are unable to tax on the momo, there are other options, including taxing on petroleum. Kwame, how insensitive can a man be? See, I've already started shedding tears by the very words I just spoke. How insensitive can a man be? You are sitting in this country today. Fuel has already broken the 8. Fuel broke the 8 before you Nana Akufo-Addo and your government broke the 8. Today, when you go to the pumps with 100 cedis, you only get equivalent of 3 gallons and a little liters on top of it. It doesn't go anywhere. At a time when trotro and taxi drivers, vehicle owners, have not been able to increase their sales because everything is going into fuel. For the past 5 years since you came into office, taxi drivers have been accounting 50 cedi sales a day to vehicle owners. Up to date, their circumstances hasn't changed because fuel and maintenance alone is corroding all their revenues. Trotro drivers are still doing 100 cedis a day. Some of them, the drivers, they weep because by the time they account the vehicle owners with the 100 cedis, they go back to their wives empty-handed. Every day they have to make a choice. It's either they go and satisfy their car owner and frustrate their wives, or they frustrate the vehicle owner and satisfy their wives. So you can imagine when they want to be with their wives, then they have to go and lie to the car owner just so they can perform husband duties. I think that this government is just on a deliberate agenda to try and impoverish the poor Ghanaian. But I just can't think about any other description to give to Akufo-Addo's administration at this particular time. He will be satisfied when we all park our cars and start working, because we just can't afford to live in this country anymore. That is when they will know that they have succeeded in their government. When they bring the average Ghanaian from middle class, upper class, down to join under poverty level numbers, that is when Akufo-Addo's administration will be excited. That is when they will be excited. You have over 60% of the cost of fuel is taxes.
Yep.
And you still want to come and impose more taxes on this. On this. Ghanaians are crying that do something about the numbers, do something about the price. For the past 6 months, they've been crying the same song. Akufo-Addo and Kenoforiata refused to listen. Yet Ethiopia syndrome has gone to different levels with this government. But you want to bring, because we refuse to give you e-levy, you want to take it back on the poor people by whatever means. And they're supposed to be Oxford and Cambridge and Yale trained people. Even Saito people can think about how to run this economy better than these so-called sophisticated, educated people who have run out of theories on how to move Ghana forward. You have a Ghana card that has over 18 million Ghanaians above the age of 18. That means 18 million productive Ghanaians are registered on a database for you. Kwame, what stops them from mining that data? What stops them from mining that data? We are losing 12 billion Ghana cedis to corruption. What stops you from finally putting in measures that will curtail corruption and save this country that money? Do we always have to pour so much pressure on the poor Ghanaian to keep suffering? Every day, Akufo-Addo's government will be the first person to come and tell us that they're not taking us back to Egypt. When every day, they themselves are pushing us back into Egypt. Kwame, it's very sad. It's a very sad morning. Ellen, welcome.
Good morning to you, Ellen Amadeko. Why is your smile only directed at me?
Because
You heard.
I'm in such a good mood this morning. Hajia, good morning. Good morning. Abella, good morning. Yesterday I was with her.
No, but because you
It's
see,
the same doom and gloom story.
but the point is that she was actually waiting for you. We've all been waiting for you. We've been like, expectant of your arrival.
Do forgive
We
me.
wanted to give you a proper welcome, like the way Jesus Christ was welcomed into Jerusalem.
Hey, Kwame.
Yes, because it appears there's an unfinished business between you and Gabriela, and Hajia is so interested in that. And that debacle, so we're all, waiting for
Do
you.
forgive me. Today has been one of those days.
Incoming women's organizer national for the NPP,
New Patriotic Party.
New Patriotic Party,
The best party.
the best party.
Yeah.
Now say the moment only 100 Ghana to Pan Africa for the first time in the history.
Have you seen the Ellen effect?
Oh yeah, the Ellen effect. Because Saka has been here. No Solid. You can't no Solid start the flu.
100 cities.
At least it's by data.
Okay.
And yes, you're for the side.
I better tell you.
You used to get anything.
Well, yeah. In fact, we're not even invited.
Now you'll be invited. Don't worry. Good morning to you. Once again,
Good
good morning
morning,
to
good
your
morning,
viewers.
good morning. How is Techiman?
Techiman is good when she
How
is
is
good.
Bechim?
When she is good.
Yeah,
Bechim is
it's
good.
good.
Yeah.
My grandmother used to live in, there's a town after Bechim.
A lot of towns have Bechim.
Yeah, at the bottom. I used to visit her until she died. No, not there, Panta. I used to visit her before she died. Anyway, our finance minister is saying that if we refuse to pass e-levy, because it appears that all the solutions to our problems reside in the bosom of e-levy. Our failure to accept the realities of now so that we pass e-levy would mean doom for us. But because the government thinks so deeply about the aspirations and the well-being of Ghanaians, they said that if we fail to pass e-levy for the purposes of bringing development, we will tax petroleum products. Do you support the finance minister when he says that?
Are you seriously expecting me to say I don't support?
Even if you
Seriously?
don't? Even if you don't?
I mean, how can you ask you? How can you ask me such a question?
This was a harmless question.
No, don't ask.
This was a harmless question. Ellen,
I also gave you a harmless answer. Anyway,
so even if you disagree, you can't say it.
no, but
Is that what you're saying?
it would be very, very
Unwise?
disingenuous of me
Okay.
as a party spokesperson.
Oh, but not as a human being.
As a party spokesperson to come and sit on such a platform
Yes.
that obviously has you have doom and gloom prophetess here.
All right.
Hajia.
Hajia has been charitable to you guys lately.
That is what I have to say. So you do not expect me to come and tell you that I do not agree with the finance minister. This is what I have to say on this issue. No matter what the issue is, no matter where we'll get money from, no matter what, we would have to get money, we would have to pay our taxes and develop Ghana. Now, one of his solutions to the e-levy, that is if it does not pass, is to tax petroleum. There's a side I agree with Gabriela when I was coming. Of course, I don't agree with
her. Okay, what's it on Facebook?
Yes, I
so
don't.
So you heard it when I said they run away from the fight?
I don't run away from fights.
I know.
There's a reason why I was late. That we have to find other avenues of getting our taxes. For me now, in our present circumstances, I don't think it would be a good idea to tax petroleum products. Because already a lot of taxes are on it. Once in a while we remove some, then we add some, then we remove some, then we add some. But taxing petroleum products now is good, it is still a suggestion. I don't agree with that for now. Maybe somewhere in the future. But for now, presently, with the world prices and the way it is going, I don't think it would be such a good idea. We have to find other sources.
Mobilize? Because it appears that we lack ideas in respect of revenue mobilization. Because all the avenues appears not to be.
We have always had issues with revenue mobilizations as a country. We always look at the low-hanging fruits.
Absolutely.
We don't look into other matters. It is difficult actually getting money from other sources. So we always look at the easiest way out. And for me, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago that Hajia was here with you and we're talking about even rent.
Yeah,
we're speaking about rent. We can get so much from rent. We can get so much from a lot of other sources. The point is, we did not even have a database of who was Ghanaian, who was living where, who is doing what. So it is always the same old people, the same old group that is taxed. It is either from our income tax, that is if you are in formal employment, whether private or public, or corporation or taxes on petroleum.
We
don't do all that. So I think it's high time. And with the now the incoming of the Ghana card, and kudos to NIA. Finally, they listen to us, and they have opened up more centers. Even there are issues, but at least they've made an effort.
So now on the Ghana card issue, I'm sorry, with respect to you, I just need clarity. Are foreigners allowed to get Ghana card?
Yes, foreigners can get Ghana card, but with it's not the same as our own. It shows you are a foreigner. Okay. Yes. All right, okay. And it gives you the number of days you can stay and all that. Okay. So every single person living in Ghana has to get a Ghana card. To show your status, whether you're a Ghanaian or you're not. Right. Now with the incoming of the Ghana card, now I think it's going to be very easy to track all of us. One thing that I found interesting, and I know my law lecturers and my lawyer friends will be on my case, was last year when the president at the bar conference actually put it in their face that most of them didn't pay taxes. And it's not just the lawyers. He was on the cases of professionals. Now the point is, how are you going to find the person when you don't have any data on the person? So for me, data gathering is so important. After we get the data, then we can tax our leaders and those in charge of our finances to use the data to pick up monies, other than the same old way that we've been doing it for the past 50. We are how many years next month? 60-something years. 60, yeah. Obviously, it is getting to everybody.
Retirement.
I buy fuel. We all do buy fuel. And I'll be very excited if the taxes on the fuel disappears. But it is unrealistic. You need to pay taxes. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we should also overburden everybody with the taxes. So I do agree that in this time and space in 2022 with the present world circumstances and rising fuel prices, it is good, it is still a suggestion.
What should the remedy be, or where should the remedy lie?
That's all that I have said.
And Kwame, with respect, let me just, I'm coming to, I want to advance a certain argument. And let me be honest with you. When MPP won, in 2016.
2017.
Well, 16, 17. I was very happy when I listened to the finance minister before Public Appointments Committee in Parliament, where he made an emphatic statement, and I would never forget this. They said that we lose annually about 300 million or billion Ghana cedis, I've forgotten the exact figure, right, to corruption and to the loopholes that we have in the system. And if we're able to plug those loopholes, this is how much we're going to rake in. Now, if you look at the current state of our economy, the loopholes are widened. We are losing so much to corruption. We are losing so much, to mismanagement, and we're losing so much to embezzlement and things like that. But we're not focusing our attention on how we can plug those loopholes so we can generate or rake in, a lot of money from them. Because if the system is functioning properly, we wouldn't even need to tax anybody again. How many are we? We are not many. You understand? So why don't we now begin to find ways of addressing the issues of corruption, particularly, and people think politicians are corrupt. They are not. Well, they are, but the public sector to start with.
You want me to be beaten?
So why don't we focus our attention on the rather than thinking about taxing petroleum and taxing this and taxing that? If we see those loopholes, can't we generate revenue to take care of our people? The
last time we spoke about public service, I was nearly beaten when I got out of here. Yes, I had a few calls that told me that people were not too happy. Certain people were not too happy with what I said. But I don't mind. I'll repeat it again. The issue is this, and I said it here and I'm saying it. Look, politicians, ministers, deputy ministers are changed all the time. It doesn't matter which government. Even if you have the philosophy of the president who believes give the person space to work. Even after 4 years, he would have to change because a new government will come in. So we keep on doing that. Sometimes there are reshuffles, people go. How many times do we reshuffle the public servants? You have been a public servant before. I have not. How many times? You have a chief director who can stay in one institution 10 years, 15 years. He moves, he goes to the next institution, same system. So who teaches the politicians the loopholes in the system? That is where the beating will come on, where I'm going to. Who teaches them?
Very good question.
Who tells the politician who has just come as minister that most of these ministers, it's not even their field. They are there as administrative people. They are there as political people. Who teaches them ways and means around the place? Let us also remember that these CEs, ministers, deputy ministers, sometimes CEOs are not spending officers. The CEOs depending on where you are. But most of the public spaces, they are not the spending officers. They just give approvals. So the spending officers mostly are the chief directors or the coordinating directors. And I give a typical example where I was there. My uncle is Honorable Asumacheme on my mother's side, formerly of the Ministry of Lands and Resources and now ambassador to India.
Okay.
And there's one thing he taught me when he was minister. He always had a photocopier in his office. It doesn't matter what passes on his table. He makes a photocopy of it and he keeps it in his house.
Yes, very important.
Apart from all the copies that are kept in the office, he keeps his copies in his house. That's the first thing. The second one, he will never sign any document after 4 p.m.
No, sometimes it's not even about being tired, though. It's about making sure that the right thing is being signed.
He won't, because you know
absolutely, yes,
he's a lawyer.
By 5 o'clock they are closed.
Yeah. So what time will he get to?
When he finish now, as he's going or somebody is entering, he's busy. Then they bring it. Oh, minister, you have to sign. He will never. Even if it means somebody is dying, he'll tell you, you should have brought it earlier. 5 o'clock, he doesn't sign. And it's a lesson I have learned from him because, do you remember what happened with Honorable Atachians when he took over?
Yeah.
And all the issues that was going on there. And apparently somebody signed a document without reading. The spending officer was able to withdraw so much money from the ministry's coffers and the minister had no idea. So if you don't take care, you turn into Simpapeni.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
You are a foolish, with all due respect, it's an early morning, foolish elder. You are sitting down there and they are doing things around you.
Yeah.
If they realize that you are the tough type, you will not give them the way. They will find ways and means around you, and you'll be there. So me, public servants, civil servants, the system is such that, look, unless God, or you have an aim for yourself, they will find a way of corrupting you. So as much as we should be on the case of the politicians, and I keep on saying, as for politicians, it is easy to find you. It is easy to find your children. You are going to stay around for a long time if you're a serious politician. It is easy for Ghanaians to find you. It is easy to go into your past.
Yeah, and dig
But
it.
tomorrow morning, if I'm made a minister, I bet you, people will find out who my first boyfriend was. They'll find it out. It's easy. But the public servants, how do we hold them to account? Look, there are some public servants, some chief directors. As we are buying minister car, they also add their own to it. So minister is driving V8, they are also driving V8. And then when it comes to the ministers, you know, they leave their cars behind.
Yeah,
it's not yours.
this one's when you're going to retire.
But this was when they are going, they can actually buy it.
For cheap, yeah, for cheap.
The politician cannot buy.
150,000, they pay 7,000.
The politician cannot buy it. As I said, my uncle was a minister. I saw him leave all the cars that he came to meet. Honorable Amewu left everything that he also came to. He moved on. But the chief directors, when they are going,
and I don't
so
know.
we have to look at the system. As much as you have to be on our case. I'm not saying don't talk about politicians.
No, but politicians are also. We know that. But the point
we
is
have
that
to also look at the public servants.
But the
and
point
the
is
civil
that
servants.
the focus and our attention, and I'm coming to you respectfully. The focus and our attention has always been on, you know, politicians here, politicians there, because they are always at the forefront. But the people who are behind the cloak, doing all these things, are the ones that we don't see. They are actually the shadow ministers.
You know,
the real ministers.
The real ministers.
Kwame, Helen is very good at diverting attention. You know, she's been able to talk about the tax before she realized, so that I'll forget
the tax.
And then
So
I'll
you
not
go-
talk about the
I actually asked that question.
And I
But
have to
start
talk
from
about
E-levy.
I have to talk about
Because we have
Because it's
identified a
very,
problem.
very
No,
important.
clearly, yes, of
You
course.
see, you have a situation whereby
Yeah.
NPP, they promised us that they were going to remove some nuisance taxes, including some petroleum taxes that they have. That about 16 or 17. I don't even remember the names. So now, if the finance minister is saying that, is he giving up? I thought maybe he's convincing Ghanaians to buy into the idea of e-levy. But if you say, oh, if I don't get this, then I'll do this, then which means you are even defeating yourself. You are not convinced yourself that you'll be able to convince Ghanaians. I thought maybe when he was going on the, is it house, how do you call it? Town hall meetings, he's trying to convince Ghanaians. I was looking for an article to share with you. I did just type something, experts on all this. The way he took the whole matter from independent. How what we owed to Kufuor, how we went to HIPIC, came out of HIPIC, when Kufuor was exiting, we're owing this amount. Then President Mills, he sort of structured the whole thing in such a way that when I was reading, I said, oh, this man, he's going to support e-levy. And then finally, he did. With detailed explanation. I'll share that article. Yesterday I was reading. But I took a note, and because my bank brought me a new diary, I forgot my old notes that I've been putting the notes inside. I would have read it for you to see. So for me, talking about petroleum taxes now will put us in a very tight corner. Let's plug the loopholes. As you rightly indicated, everybody was in love with the finance minister when he went to the Public Accounts Committee talking about the loopholes. What has happened? Ever since the game, what have they been able to retrieve from people who have stolen our monies? Every day, Public Account Committee. When the Minister of Fisheries went, they said they have to refund some $17,000. Meanwhile, she was not the one who was there. But they are making effort. And then even one of them, who is it public or civil servant, is dead. So you see, now the Public Account Committee are even saying they should follow his children and go and collect those monies. So you just talk about politicians. But the main architect of breaking our economy are out there. They are not being seen. So for me, increasing of petroleum product is no. Gallon way, so. That is why people in the party like NDC and MPP should stop using petroleum product to do campaign. It has happened in all of the party. Oh, you shouldn't use it because you produce oil, but you don't even refine it here. What are we not getting right? We discovered oil how many years now? They said we cannot refine it in Tema oil refinery, so we cannot do anything about it. An individual in Nigeria has built a refinery, and now Nigeria will not send their crude oil to anywhere again. So all the byproduct, everything, it will be in their country. So that no wonder they said among 195 countries, Nigeria is 25th when you come to the economy. Did you read? You see, they're not talking about it. Folks, then press, they're not talking about it because it's Africa. Because an African country is sort of making some strife. Kwame, we have to have our homegrown policies that will inure to the benefit of our people. But if you are going to be following this Western type of education and thinking, we'll continue to mark time. Why am I saying this? When Nkrumah was overthrown, what happened? All the factories, people were advised to close factories, send your old people out, back to their homes. And people did it. So you can imagine the way Africans and for that matter Ghanaians think. If a book is written by Nkrumah, then they remove it from the shelves. The other day I was telling you about Dr. Wood, who wrote a voluminous book, Engineer Wood, that can solve the water and electricity program of this country. But because it's an Nkrumah, nobody is even contacting him. The man is getting to 80, which means he should die with his knowledge. That is why we are not moving forward as a country. If I'm not MPP, whatever I say is, excuse my language, nonsense. If I'm not NDC, whatever I tell to NDC is nonsense. That is not how to build a country. When there is rot, when there's corruption, when there are loopholes, it is incumbent on all of us to point all those loopholes. But Finance Minister, sorry to disappoint you, my own brother Ken Oforiatta. We cannot talk about taxes on petroleum products as we are speaking today, because now the transportation this thing are saying that they're going to increase their transfer fares by 15%. I'm telling you, it is getting to a point where families will be separated. Ask me why. I cannot go to Kombongo and visit my family. I cannot go to Bonkatanga. I'm not a crap person. I only came. The government should look at other means that is cutting on expenditure. I was telling you, you said they shouldn't decrease it. See how people are taking salaries in this country. If we don't have money, let's cut down. Public servants, look at the money they are giving them. But CEOs of banks, institutions, look at the kind of money they are taking. Why don't we have it? After all, they are just sitting there. Maybe the technocrats who will bring the ideas that will engineer the place are there, but they're not receiving those monies. Let's call a spade a spade. If there's no money, we should all cut our expenditure. We should cut our expenditure. If ministers are flying first class, then they should buy it themselves. I watch a Nigerian governor who said, if he's sitting in the what do you call the economy, why the plane will not land? It will land. But because people will not take their own money and buy first class, business class. No. When they are out of government. But when they become somebody's, you see the way they be even taking selfies, put it on social media for people to know that I flew first class. Wallahi, me, if you're going to buy me first class, I'll tell you, I beg you, Kwame, just give me the money. I'll go and buy my last class. After all, if I fly, I'll also read. People should be modest in their doings. And Ghanaians too will say, fine, even if you are taxing us, we see the handiworks. Our roads are good, transportation system, health system, and so on and so forth. But if people think that other people are enjoying and majority are suffering, by all means will cry foul. For me, petroleum taxes now is no, 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 no. We should be innovative. You are not producing. Nothing. Even if as Ghanaians, we say from today going, no minister should buy suits. I'm just giving an example. Let's all be in our kente, our fugu. We'll boost those industries and the money will remain with them. But somebody will wear a suit. One of my brother, I gave him a suit. And then when he went to, I don't want to mention the television station, that guy was trying to touch the
fabric.
To fabric. When he said, wow, this suit is nice. Where did you get it from? You see, why don't I wear my 2x4 material and look cute? And all of us are guilty. All of us, because this one I'm wearing is not from Ghana. All of us are guilty. But this fabric, is it from Ghana?
But at least I have a made.
This one too is from Ghana. This one
I have made in Ghana.
This one is from Ghana. You see, we should build our economy. We should try and feed our local industries. And look, the article I read, before I forget, we were talking about the extractive industry. And for that matter, companies that are given tax exemptions. If you see the percentage, if you see the money, the quantum of money, we wouldn't have any business going for loans or maybe increasing taxes or any levy. That is where the problems are. We should look at all those things. If you don't look at that and we say we have to tax the people, we have to do this, we have to do that, look at companies who are milking this country. Before I finish, I'm sad. And in fact, I'm really surprised and my bone marrow is shaking as what I'm going to say. Look at Chinese. I'll mention them because they are those in the Galamsey this thing. But they have their Ghanaian counterparts who are supporting them. Now they are even processing gari. Gari, no, made in China. Produced from unpolluted soil. So which means they want to tell the world that the Ghana gari is what? Polluted. So Ghanaians, you should listen to us. Those of you people who are selling your cocoa land for Chinese to come and extract gold and go and raid their country. Now they are taking up cocoa. They are sowing cocoa. They took our black soil to go and do research and improve their soil. And we are sitting down here. As soon as they give us some few money, they'll come and pull down our cocoas that our great-grandfathers, if our great-grandfathers were to be in Galamsey, will you come and inherit cocoa farms? Okay. No. So we can do something as Ghanaians. Let's plug the loopholes. Let's look at the Public Account Committee from 1993 to this. Who took what? Have they returned it? Let's just take 1 month and do that and see the money that we are going to, and we won't need any extra increment in petroleum product. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
We can drop the third topic and continue with this topic. This is more important than the third topic.
The third topic is also important.
TikToking ministers is irrelevant. Let's put them somewhere. Let's talk about this country.
We'll discuss it.
You know, Hardship in her submission made mention that we sacked our fellow Ghanaians and we sold some of Nkrumah's companies. Well, unfortunately, as truthful as that may be, the fact also remains that we mismanaged those businesses and they became a burden on the state and we're pushing this country into debt.
No, I didn't say that. I said as soon as Nkrumah was overthrown, the West advised the people who took over that they should sack all our people from the companies. It isn't because they were not maybe producing or doing well. If a company is not doing well,
if
as a government,
you have to divest.
What do we? So you diverted all to yourself. I didn't even say your party. So what?
No, Bible come directly at you. Sometimes you can become too personal.
Yeah.
No, it's not personal.
I'm talking about privatization now.
Okay, go ahead.
They did not help us. It did not help us.
We are talking about how Ghana makes money. No, Privatization helped us. The challenge we have with privatization is that if you look at the data, the companies that were privatized to foreigners have become more successful than the ones that were privatized to locals. Coca-Cola bottling at Spintex, that used to be Gihawk bottling, divested to, what's the name, Equatorial something Company Limited, American. But Coca-Cola is a successful company. What Golden Tulip is former Continental Hotel, built by Kwame Nkrumah, currently owned by Libya, divested. But when you come to Accra, it's one of the most successful hotels. So it is not the issue of you let Ghanaians go and then you collapse businesses. Currently, as we speak, SIGA, late last year, when they did their report on the performance of state enterprises, mentioned that over 50% of state enterprises are making losses. Because at the end of the day, we're here talking about money for the state. These enterprises are supposed to be revenue-generating businesses. We don't focus on these companies to make sure that they perform to optimality and efficiently and bring money to the state. We are talking about TOR. We have been paying TOR's debt for God knows how long through taxes.
So which means it's misplaced priority.
It is mismanagement.
And mismanagement, of course.
The money is not getting to pay TOR's debt. TOR, the focus of TOR, per what Nkrumah envisaged, is an oil refinery. And that was what was built there to suit the oil we had. Currently, the oil we produce and this factory, this refinery, don't click. You need a new, some installations to be made to TOR. I hear it will cost us just about 200 million.
So we should do it.
We should do it. And revive TOR. But you have a chamber of petroleum importers, you see, whose businesses are dependent on importing refined products. So if we bring up TOR, but whether we like it or not, these are the decisions that we have to make. Gabriela, to save this country money. To save this country money. There's one particular product that is very close to my heart, and that is rice.
You like rice?
As we sit here, from 1967, 66, 67, that we decided as a country to focus on rice production. Every government comes and does something. Today, as we speak, local production of rice, at least, can cover roughly 40% of domestic consumption. But yet the rice farmers are afraid to even harvest their rice in the north because, one, they don't have storage. And even not harvesting is a risk in itself, because with the dry weather comes the bush fires, and people can lose their farms just like that, or even the spillover from that 16 megawatt dam we make so much noise about, Bagri Dam. But you have a strong rice importing chamber. So because of this group, who always want to feed us with imported Vietnam, Thailand, Bangkok, India rice, our local rice farmers are struggling. Our local rice milling factories are struggling. They have products that is not coming out because the demand is not being driven.
What I'm taking away from all of these conversations is about investing more in production than importation.
You see,
but that has been the mantra, and I think it's one of the things which was trumpeted by the NPP. Which is why I say that sometimes I get disappointed in the NPP, and I'm sorry I'm saying this, because I feel like they've disappointed a lot of Ghanaians, particularly with the things they said, and particularly also how they made it look very simple, that they were going to be able to do that. Because, Ajia, truthfully, if we're able to cut down on importation of certain products, rice, sugar, because over $1 billion or something like that, Kwame, from the importation of sugar,
saying,
for instance.
Was not different from what Gabriela was saying.
Absolutely.
The question is, those diverted companies, hotels, what have you? Even though it's for foreigners, is it foreigners who are working in the hotel? I'm asking, is it foreigners? Is it not Ghanaians?
Yeah, question is about management. And that's why she made mention of mismanagement. You also made mention of mismanagement.
You see, the issue is that we are behaving as if we are living in a colonial era. As if we cannot think for ourselves.
Well, it appears we cannot.
How can you have a factory? Look at the whole of North Carnation. Look at the factories that were built there. It's our own Ghanaians who are working there, but managed by maybe foreigners.
The question is why?
You understand? You ask yourself why.
Yes.
Why?
It's the attitude.
You understand? So if we pay our people well, take good care of them, put system that will check. Because you talk about Golden Tulip. That time it was, what is the name of the hotel? Continental. Government officials will come and sleep there without paying.
Without paying, yeah.
You see?
Yeah. So if you fly without paying.
Fly without paying.
Fly with their children, wives.
I'm sitting in a hotel manager. Then you come and sleep, then you can't go out. What should you? Because I want to win. Maybe if there's a competition, I want to be the best manager. I want to be the best something. Then you come and sleep, eat free and go. No, you have to pay.
Okay.
So if we do that,
let's
and then not thinking about yourself, but rather Ghana as a whole, and you leave a mark that Kwame, when he was the host of Pan-African TV, he was able to bring the. The other day somebody was talking about, please, sorry if I mentioned that GTV. I said maybe the person is no more watching GTV because they have moved on. They are trending. You understand? Because of new innovation. But if you want to be stuck like stagnant water, then things will not go right.
Yeah.
We should do the right things. Let's look at where we can plug the loopholes. Let's man our own. Look at this
consistent policy.
Yes.
No,
and then what was coming there? What is disturbing this country is policy.
No, it's not about policy.
Oh, no, wait. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. And then parties will come with their manifestos. Even if it is not achievable. Because you set goals that can be achieved. So if you just come and say that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, without first costing, looking at how you are going to even raise resources for that, and then you use it as a mantra, you'll be exposed.
You see, the reason I'm saying it's not policy is sometimes we have very good policies which can be executed.
Policy implementation.
Question is about how we are able to sustain that. And for me, that has always been the challenge for all political parties. No, you see, we birth great ideas. Because what would it take for instance, the MPP to say that, okay, we are going to cut down on the importation of rice? What would it take? Because AGI will complain?
AGI will complain if we are
or because, do you understand? Or because, Guta. I was actually going to say Guta. Or because Guta will complain, so what?
So what?
You know what I'm saying? Because if we want to build a society, then we must be ready to damn the consequences.
Nigeria has damned the consequences.
Absolutely. You know, but what led us here, what has brought us to this point is the conversation about different avenues of revenue mobilization. And I think, respectfully, you guys didn't touch on that. Ellen did. Both of you did.
No, I spoke about the Ghana card.
I
spoke about the Ghana card.
Because
the mining that data
but
alone
I think
is bringing 18 million.
The conversation, we have to have a different
mining alone.
No, because I posed the question whether or not, and because she also made a very brilliant submission to the effect that we do not need to tax.
Yes.
In her opinion, now.
Yes.
We don't need to tap it. But then I looked beyond that and I said, okay, we still need the money, right? So how do we then still generate or mobilize revenue for the purpose of achieving the very things which the e-levy would have been used for?
Pushing the digitization agenda. One, the Ghana card. You see,
everybody will come on board.
The Ghana card
and registration
with
of the same
Bank of Ghana.
Hey, they are taking everything.
These two items. Banking transactions now with your complement with your Ghana card. Momo transactions complemented with your data and your Ghana card. The government now has access to view everybody's transactions. That is what the US government does. So when they say that no, the amount of money you are paying in taxes and the kind of money is moving in your account and on your phone, it's not commensurate. Then they'll come and question these funds. So it gives government access to that money. Two, JRA has an online service now that allows taxpayers to pay by text, to file by text. they should keep pushing that product down, because it's very versatile.
Okay.
To get people the convenience of sitting whenever you get the money, and keep updating your tax records.
Ellen, somebody.
But we have to make this economy productive, because we can't continue existing on borrowed money.
Ellen, it appears somebody did not understand your submission relative to rental taxes. And the person came and said, "What you said, Madam Ellen? Do you say we should tax rent and things like that?"
But the landlords are taking rent advance.
Absolutely, and the agents are actually even, and the agents are taking it without paying taxes.
Yeah.
So maybe in your submission, I don't know where you want to look at the issue from. You may want to clarify that, please.
Oh well, what I meant was rents are part of the high-flying fruits we can look at. Well, people are picking up so much money. I mean, where I live, if I tell you my rent, and,
you told me,
and the fact that I don't think my landlord and other landlords in the pay any tax. What I do is that I just do a transfer into the account, and when I do the transfer, I pay tax. Yeah, yes, I'll have to. Yes,
absolutely.
But then if I pay, then who monitors that money? Because it's income, so it means free. So we have to look at all those things. And then what I said also was, how do you even find the landlords? How do you know who owns what? And who is renting what? And that is why the Ghana card issue, I said we should continue pushing it, because it will give us the database for a lot of things in this country. Database for who owns what property in which part of Ghana and in which part of Accra. Because we all know that even in Accra, we have different rates for different buildings in different areas. We need to get our data right, so that it is easy to tease out what you want. So rent control can tease out, the Ministry of Finance can tease out, everybody can tease out. As we sit now, we have so many little DVLA has their own data. Ghana card, they have theirs. NHIS, they have theirs. Everybody seems to have their own SNIT, they have theirs. We need to get one big database, and that is what the Ghana card is meant for. One big database that has everything on it. You know, your Ghana card has your driver's license number.
Yeah.
It has your NHIS number. It has your children's NHIS number and their names. When they put your card in, they get everything. Your father, your dead mother, like me, everybody's data is on it. So it is easy to find you. And rent is not the only one. We can tax the rent. We have people who do online businesses. So I buy a handbag from you. It's 250. I send you your money. Momo. We are done.
You even add the Momo charges.
Yes.
Momo charges,
so that they get their exact 250.
Yes.
It's madness.
That's what we do.
So why should now people are no more? The last time we said people are no more getting shops.
No, they don't want it.
They don't want it.
Yeah.
So you sit in your house, you put it on your statuses, you put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Gabriella calls, I like the shoes. How much? 150. She sends me 155.
Yeah. Done.
What have I paid on my profit on the shoes? Maybe my profit is 50 cedis. Where is the tax? So I go scot-free. But the poor teacher, the UTAC person who is looking for his money, will get his small salary and will tax the salary and get income tax. That is widening the net. A lot of people are billionaires quietly.
I'm telling you.
And they are not paying anything. Those of us who offer to do public service and formal work where you can be traced, pay everything. Go and look at the income tax on these CEOs that Hajia was mentioning their name or how much they earn. Look, the higher you earn, the more tax you pay. Mm-hmm. There are people in this country who pay over 10,000 cedis on their salaries. So it is not that easy for them to there. So these are the things I'm talking about. Now about the issue of the industrialization, because I'm into production.
Yeah.
I understand why we are where we are. It is attitude. I produce fruit juice. My box is 24.
You said you're going to bring me a box. You didn't.
That was late. Next week, God willing. Or I'll send a box to you.
Yes.
The box, 24 bottles. I produce 100 boxes. So 100 times 24 bottles.
My mathematics is terrible.
That is 2,400. 2,400.
And
And then I will my profit on those 2,400 bottles are the 400 bottles on top.
On top of it, okay.
You understand? So the 2,000 goes into salaries and everything. Now my profit is that one. Kwame, at the end of the day, out of the 100 boxes, can you believe that I will not even get 10 bottles?
For yourself?
For myself. Why? The workers are going home. They will steal some of the pineapple, the raw pineapple. Somebody will pick a bottle, Baltic bottle, the 1.5. As he's bottling, he will pour some. Now, if you pick 1.5 liters,
that's about how many bottles of your product?
Bottles.
Yeah.
And all the workers there, every day before they are going home, they have some little bottles in their bag. That is even for the unprocessed, as we are processing. As they are sitting there, what they are eating is another matter. Then we finish bottling too. They will steal some of the bottles, the processed one. Sometimes with your label. Sometimes those who are criminal and they want to go and sell your products without even acknowledging you, they steal it without the label. And they have their own labels at home, and then they go and put it on your products. So by the end of the day, I have less than 10 bottles as profit. Seriously, which serious person would continue with such a business? So me now, when you order, I produce for you, and I am there.
You're like Gabriella.
I am there. Yes.
Order produce.
And that's how the point and kill.
Yes, I am there. So look at, because I am Ghanaian, and for us women it's even worse. If you are not lucky and you go and you employ a man who is chauvinistic too on top, they come there with the idea that she has money and she doesn't know what to do with her money. So we get a lot of Ghanaians who are rich and they can open businesses. They rather buy treasury bills because of the stress. That's the first one. But let's a foreigner. Let me get an Indian and let me hand over the company to the Indian. I'll go and sleep.
Wow.
Every month my profits will come. You know why? Because the Ghanaians are scared of another person with a different color or a foreigner. They will come to work on time. They will not steal, or even they steal. But when it's their fellow Ghanaian, they speak the same language with you. They think that, I don't know whether it is our culture that makes us behave that way. It is the same behavior that we took into the national agencies. Look, Ghana Airways failed.
Oh yeah.
Because we had from cabin crew to ministers of state to government officials to influential people in this country who refused to pay for their tickets. Some even went with more baggage than they have to. People actually use Ghana Airways as their trotro for their businesses without paying. Can you do that with KLM? Some will fail.
Do you know some of them? Maybe if
so we will fail. So we are the problem.
But then again, it comes down to, you see, and I've just.
And let me tell you that with me, if I get rich, and by God's grace, I'll get rich.
So use when?
From business. When I get rich.
Yeah.
Better. When? I'm going to find it very difficult with my little experiences to actually go into production. I'd rather go into services. Because it's a tough world out there. I have a lot of respect for those who are doing production under AJ. It doesn't matter which product. It's not easy. Our people, we have this mentality. I have to steal. You have to steal. And when you catch them, then they'll go and bring the chief.
Well, I mean, and I know the depth from where all these wonderful submissions are coming from, because we're all very passionate about advancing the cause of development in this country. But from all the things that you've said, you see, if you look at how much some of these CEOs earn, for instance, okay, and their output, I don't know whether they give them KPIs, because in most of the private companies, we have KPIs and you must meet them.
Now with SIGA they do.
You must meet them. Which one is SIGA?
State interests, governance.
The one was headed.
So that's their SIGA.
What used to be State Enterprises Commission.
So that's their SIGA. I'm talking about all the other
But they do sack people.
So no, so the KPIs, because I've not heard them sack any politically appointed CEO.
They happen.
It rarely happens. Rarely, very rarely.
The point is that they don't talk much about it.
Yeah, but
a
very
lot
rarely.
of people are quietly let go.
Okay, because
So maybe SIGA
I'm just learning
the names of those
because KPIs.
Yes,
As a matter of fact, KPIs must cut across the board. Even ministers and they must have KPIs. For instance, Ajia, I do not understand why a minister is waiting on government to give them money to work. I don't understand.
To do and do what?
I mean, to work with. When you could actually partner with some institution, in fact, corporate agencies and things like that to do things. I don't know if I'm making sense because it's like our reliance on the public coffers is what is killing us.
Look,
every time we want to do something, are we saying that, for instance, the transport ministry cannot liaise with a corporate entity to build roads, and then maybe we pay it as whatever, but that is possible.
That's what public-private partnerships are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and the agri ministry cannot also partner some. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. Like something.
I understand you perfect, but you see, me, I don't even want to go to the ministries, but rather the MDCs. Look at maybe KMA. It's now that they have maybe separated this thing to municipalities and Kumasi, Takrade, Chamale, and then they are waiting for, is it common fund?
They use assembly common fund
before they can do anything. They can even generate money internally because you have the markets, you have the stores.
They do, but it's not enough.
No, what is not enough? They're not doing it properly.
It's the bigger metropolitan assemblies who are better at mobilizing, like AMA, Tamale, Sekeni, Takrade.
My sister.
But
you teaching marketing. There are big markets that we can even do something, be innovative, you know. If you rely on government to feed you, clothe you, and then there's another aspect that takes our money. We should look at it very well.
Which one is that?
Clothing. This
feeding allowance alone is.
We said
we are talking to the ministers or everybody?
Not just the ministers, the
public servants.
Public servants.
The conditions of service.
You see the condition. Look. What I don't get is we're in a democracy, isn't it? We said ours is a hybrid of Britain and America, isn't it? Go to America. Did they give their ministers bungalows to go and stay? Do they give them cars to be moved? Do they give them fuel?
If you are poor, don't get into public service.
You see, you are poor. We are poor. We go for loans. We use those loans to service loans and then pay salaries. That article, I'm telling you, I'll send it to you.
Send it to me.
It's very interesting and detailed. Because they are even saying that most of the money that we take, we use it to cushion our budgets.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So as a country, if IMF doesn't give us this to support them, we cannot.
I'm saying something, I don't know whether it's true or not, and I need clarity.
What is that?
Basic monthly salary of state CEOs in Ghana. Is it true what I'm saying?
I say it.
SNET 95,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
GRA 110, like that's 1.1 billion. 110,000. BOG, Bank of Ghana, 120. That's 1.2 billion. 1 month.
How much is the president?
President 40-something thousand.
NPA 70,000. GNPC 87,000. That's 87 million.
Yeah. It's possible.
What is 87 million?
OCDs 87 million.
It's possible.
Yes.
PC, which one is PC? PC, whatever. 80,000. Petroleum Commission 80,000. CEO. VRA 97,000.
Okay, all
because these agencies
slash it into two.
ECJ 86,000. BUI 76,000. NY they are 45,000. That's a lot.
45,000.
That's a lot. ADC, which one is ADC? 42,000. GIPC 83,000. Energy Commission 77,000. National Service, Gifty 56,000. Hey.
So this is the mean.
But deputy will be 40-something thousand. NLA.
So how did they?
NLA they have more. NLA they have more. Forestry 67,000.
I need to know more.
NLA
understand that everybody has their interest.
Oh, no, NLA, no, they are going to give you. Oh, come on.
No, it's probably because of the CBS of these agencies and what they do. NLA, for example, makes revenue from lotteries, from lotto. Okay.
So they can pay themselves.
And they're able to transfer. NLS was 79,000. You don't want to mention.
NLA. Oh, no.
At the end of the year.
Oh, but I don't have NLA.
At the end of the year, maybe they can mobilize 1 billion to consolidated fund. So their CBAs are agreed with certain amounts to motivate them to be able to pull that money to consolidated fund.
What about talk?
Now it's a tank farm, so they're making money from renting our tank farm.
Anyway, on a lighter note, I don't know if the video is ready. My producers, I want to see the video, man. Is the video ready?
Yeah, another one is also boy video at Asasi.
Asasi?
This morning.
Which one is Asasi?
Asasi Radio.
What has happened there?
The video you want to show.
Yeah.
Well, another one is as we speak. It's in session.
Really?
What video?
Is the video ready?
Go on then.
If the video is ready, one of the best dance moves I've seen in 2022 is coming from my MP, my member of parliament, Hadia's best friend, Madam Adjo Asafo. If the video is ready, let's watch it. Let's watch it.
You want to talk about this issue,
Okay, so they mistakenly went on that break. Kennedy Akompreko, is it Akompreko or Akompreko? Akompreko in Japan descended heavily.
And that is why I said he's also on.
It's also on the same person.
As we are speaking now.
The same man, firing.
He's on Assassin.
Hey, this one there is like the Malian mercenaries who was being hired to do the damage for the government. Anyway, let's watch this video. But I think that I don't support that, to be honest. I mean, but let's watch this video. We'll come back and discuss this issue.
The numbers are kept at best even for whichever agenda either side wants to get back on the numbers in Parliament. And some have suggested that there's an attempt to eliminate by rough tactics going on both sides of the House to make sure that the numbers are kept at best even for whichever agenda either side wants to push. But very few people would think that there would be an internal attempt to cut down on the numbers, and that's why perhaps the absence of the Honourable MP for Dom Kwabena raises questions, because some have suggested that she may be also playing a card that the rest of the public may not be seeing. Is it something?
What card is she playing?
Well, the suggestion is that her long absence from Parliament could cause the numbers to go down on the NPP side of the House. So perhaps she's asking for something which has not been granted.
Yes, she says she wants to be a deputy majority leader. That woman has failed in life. Please, why are you saying, hey, a whole minister, a cabinet minister, now demanding that she should be made a deputy majority leader before he comes? You should go to hell.
Did she write this?
She has requested that. Yes, she has requested that.
And what was the response?
I have 2 kids with her, and therefore I never speak the truth. I will speak the truth, even at gunpoint. I will speak the truth and die. That is exactly what she's doing. Please.
Is this something that could cost her seat? Because some have suggested that
of course,
once
if
she's
you don't come
returning
to Parliament and you are on TikTok dancing, excuse me.
What's the exact law surrounding absences?
It's not for Apostle Kwadwo Safo. Get it straight. And I'm very furious because people are insulting me because I went there to campaign for him, for her. And Michael Kwe, the speaker, a man that I respect very well. But
you campaigned against his son for that Dom Kwabena
because
seat.
I do use my kids. The kids were calling, Daddy, please, you have to support mommy, do this, and now everybody is insulting me. Yeah, for doing that. But I have not regretted because she's very responsible when it comes to the kids. So I don't have a problem.
Explain to us what the law exactly is on absences for parliamentarians.
Straight 15 working days.
How many days has it been now since she's been
more than
away?
That.
Should we expect her seat to be declared vacant?
Why not? Yeah, you should go and contest on TikTok. Please.
Are you back to me? Oh, first of all, I have my comments, but I'll reserve same. Why is the TV on? I'm getting feedback. Can somebody just mute it? Thank you. I have my comments, but I'll reserve same. Otherwise, I may say things that I'm not obligated to say. Your MP. Attacking. Anyway, let me keep quiet. I have women here who may deal with the matter on my behalf. Ellen, put politics aside. Are you happy?
I'm saddened because I see it as a drawback in the advancement of women. You know, we are already fighting for space. We are fighting for recognition. We are fighting to stay relevant. So when we have a woman, no matter what your personal issues with her is, for me, she's a woman. She's there, and she's going through so much. It's not a funny thing.
It's not easy.
And I really do not know. You know, coming from Honorable Keleja Depon, it makes it extra difficult to talk about because he's practically family. He's her family. I mean, he has 2 children with her. Her 2 children she has is with him. So, a lot of us have issues with our baby daddy. And so it's sometimes very difficult to publicly discuss somebody's issue. Because some of us are in court. Some of us are in a lot of places with the men we had children with. It is not a pleasant thing. I really do not... It's not as if Honorable Adjasafo has also conducted herself too well. With whatever situation she's going through, which I don't know. You know, the last time we spoke about it, I mentioned that I have heard that she's not feeling too well. I think the situation should have been managed better. But for this to come from the inside, it's a bit too harsh, harsh and
it's harsh, and I think we should call it.
I really do not want to go into the explanations. Well, as I said, we are all going through issues. When you have a child or you have children with somebody.
How do you say that?
Let me finish my.
Please go ahead.
When you have children with somebody, you pray for peace. You do not aggravate the situation. I think that will be my little say on this. Otherwise, as you said, when I say things we shouldn't.
I mean, putting your matters out to say that your children had to plead on her behalf before you came in to support her. What? So what? Who wants to know what happened? I mean, this matters anyway. Gabriela, let me just keep quiet. Who am I? Whom am I? Whom am I? Yeah, I mean, yeah, but regardless.
Taking it from an affirmative action point of view, I mean, we've been calling for numbers for women representation a very long time. And Adjasafo is one of those ones who, from the NPP side, has risen into leadership very young, not only as a minister of state in cabinet, but also in parliament. She's been in a majority leadership before. So she's not a small personality to just rubbish like that. In addition, she also happens to be the MP for the largest constituency in Ghana.
Absolutely. I
don't know what reasons are accounting for her absence in Parliament. And I also don't think that, like what these NPP MPs are saying, that is deliberate or something. Whatever the situation is with her, I think they should try and address those challenges and have her back to her former self, because she's an asset to the NPP. And the way that doesn't just Mr. Kennedy Japan, Ochibefi also said something on that station about her as well.
No, Ochibefi about that.
And for the NPP, they should be more interested in solving whatever problems exist with her. Yesterday, I was watching another program where they had done some research on the constituency. And they asked the constituents all kinds of questions. They asked them if elections were to be held today between President Mahama and Vice President Bawumia, who will win? And for a constituency that is predominantly MPP, 49% said they will vote for President Mahama. 48% said they will vote for Bawumia. The others said not sure. And this is an MPP constituency. It works in NDC's favor, what they are doing. But I took it from an affirmative action point of view about female representation. I've heard snippets of news items from the constituency also complaining about her absence in representing them. But we, NDC, can't go to her and organize her to get back with a job. She's not a member of our party.
Oh, she's
but
friend.
For affirmative action's sake, for the women's sake, their party, or the women in their party, should show more interest in Adwoa and see how they can get her to either be interested in her job, or if she wants to stay away from Parliament, then she should ask permission for that absence. Look, and give proper reasons.
We all know why it has come to this. Because of e-levy. But you see,
really?
It's because of e-levy.
Oh, okay.
And but we know that the numbers game. If she's not in Parliament when they are to vote on e-levy and things like that, it will affect the MPP. That's a fact.
Yes,
but the point is you are placing e-levy above the emotions of somebody. You don't know what the person is going through. You have no idea. And you see all the things that you're seeing on social media, she just wants to be happy. It looks like somebody who has gone into depression for some time, and she's just trying to get out of that depression. I've seen musicians who have been depressed, like Papi Kojo, when he came out to tell a story. No, Hajia, sometimes we laugh about it.
Papi Kojo.
Papi Kojo, yes, he's a musician. No, he's a musician. You know, when he came out to tell us about a story about how he was depressed and nearly killed himself because of depression, we're all happy that now he's been able to recover and things like that. So he's very active on social media, living his life, being happy and all of that. You see a video of somebody dancing and on TikTok and things like that, you immediately conclude that because the person is not appearing in Parliament, you know, she's just trying to. I don't know what was going on in the mind of.
This doesn't make her a loser in life.
No, absolutely doesn't make her a loser. Are you saying that people who go, we all go on social media too?
MP, a female to rise as the largest constituency MP, minister, leadership,
she's a failure in life. How do you describe as a failure in life?
She's not a failure in life.
You don't do that. You don't.
You know how I am with Adwoa Safo.
Oh yes.
Even there was a day we met and she was telling me, "Hey, Aja, taxi driver, be see Ubebono," because I was in a taxi that time, and then the bumpy road. Hey, I just have to say, Aden, I just have on a constructive road, and then. I don't know whether he was an MPP guy. So he told her. And then when we were talking, she mentioned it. Now, we in Dome Kwabenya currently don't have an MP.
We do.
Wait, be patient.
No.
Because we are missing our MP. And leadership of the MPP are not telling us why our MP is absent. So therefore, for us to wake up and see no less a person but somebody who fathered her children to go, if I want a better word, rampage, attacking her like that is not good enough. Currently, we have 40 women in Parliament. We're even complaining that we don't have enough women. That is why the women agenda is not going through. If you recall, we are talking about the affirmative action bill gathering dust from Madame Clark-Quay's time till today. So I think it is incumbent on the leadership of the party. And you know, let me tell you, when she was a deputy majority leader, I'm telling you, Honorable Chairman Sabunsu and Honorable Esla, they were in that constituency like that is their constituency.
Can you imagine?
Campaigning for Adwoa Safo. At times I'll see Esla say, hey, this woman, is she not minding her business in Ablekuma West? And then you saw what happened to Honorable Chairman Sabunsu in Swami.
Yeah.
But they were really interested in Adwoa winning
her seat.
Her primaries first.
Yeah.
and then her seat. So you ask yourself, what went wrong? What happened? And then now there's a problem surrounding Adwoa's maybe attitude towards her party. Has somebody, we are not in the party, so we didn't know whether there was some maybe moves by the leadership of the party, unless she's in America. Honorable Kennedy Japan, as for America, is like here to KGTR for him. As somebody who is a mother of your 2 kids, at least what stops you from going? Like the way when Professor Okwe called you, you told us that he called you to say that you should support his son, my good friend too. You know, Michael Okwe too, the junior, is my friend. And then you said, why should you go and support him? You are my friend, but I cannot support your son because I have to support the mother of my 2 children. And Ghanaians applauded him, isn't it? So if it's anything at all, he should have found a better way. Let the babies and what talk. The Abba Fresh, let them talk. Not an experienced politician like you, somebody who is a father. So how will the children look at their father? Talking about their mother like this. That is how, allow, maybe some of us can talk about Adwoa and maybe shout. But you, Honorable Kennedy Japan, with the greatest of respect, he shouldn't have gone onto that tangent. And then now, he's trending too, because radio stations upon radio station are rather hosting him. He started it on his own radio station. Now he went to GTV. Now I learned he's on Nassas. So is it that people are happy with his outbursts? Are the MPP party, are they serious? Are the leadership serious? Can they say, please, stop it? You in particular should stop it. Because if some frog should come out of this thing and say the crocodile mother is dead, people will believe whatever he's saying because that's the mother of his children. I think it is in bad taste. Sorry to say, this is below the belt. You cannot call somebody, like, her attitude, fine, but you cannot call somebody as young as Adwoa, who has gone through parliament, the 3rd term in parliament, minister for procurement, deputy majority leader, as a failure. What is the definition of failure? If Kennedy Japan can tell me. If you have issues with her, that is not how to go about it. It's a sad situation. Don't we have people in... I can tend to sort of support you a bit when it comes to the e-levy. If MPP were to be having the trade in 160 something, and then I'm not sure Adwoa would have come into the limelight whereby she would be attacked like this. It's a fair comment. You understand? Because even, let's say that Adwoa's behavior isn't right, but must we go on this tangent? We should get people. We have women in the MPP. We have women like Honorable Esther who left their constituency, went to Adwoa's constituency. Have they maybe consulted people like Esther and other people to even say, when Parliament was on break, let's go and see what we can do with Adwoa if she's not well.
Exactly. This is the time she needs your love, not your...
And then maybe to sort of give us some counseling. Yeah. People can go through, you know, it's not everybody who can control his emotions, or that will devolve to depression. Me, as I'm sitting here, Kwame, I'm telling you, when something disturbs me in the morning, by evening I leave it at the door of my room before I sleep. Why? Because if you're not careful, you will get so many things. Depression can bring diabetes, hypertension, and you can even die and leave your young children. So why should I put myself in that kind of situation?
Right.
You see,
right.
And I'm surprised because a father is an apostle, he's a pastor. So what kind of counseling is our grandfather, our father, Apostle Kuju, doing to our dear daughter, sister,
well, my time,
daughter?
Yeah, my time is up.
It is very, very important.
But thank you.
And then the parliament, do they have a counseling session if maybe they are, one of them is...
This is the time the MPP must demonstrate love and not hate. To be honest. Anyway, Ellen Amadeko is guarding for the National Women's Organizer for the MPP. I see the final, the dynamics of the show has saddened you. I know.
Well,
feel it because you've been in that boat before.
It's not a pleasant thing, and to
yeah.
have somebody you've had children with on the rampage.
I know.
But we are fighters.
I mean, then the question becomes:
Fighters.
was it bad to have built that relationship to even start with? Because it appears that your baby daddy is always the bottleneck in your life, the thorn in your flesh. Gary Latete, thank you for your time this morning. I appreciate you. People have actually said, they've missed you a lot on the show. Be coming frequently and stop Johnny Hughes, because otherwise I will deal with Johnny Hughes. I told you.
How many times do you go to TV?
No, they've been chopping love on Facebook. I don't like that. I'm a jealous lover. Yes. Aja, thank you for your time. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice day. My name is Kwame Osun, and so bye-bye.